The trick Bonnet gets taken down. Hobbit does answer back once again with that AWP. Needs to be careful not to die. He won't. He does survive. Goes for the peek at the end there. Doesn't quite catch it. And HellRaisers do manage to hold on to the round. Very, very close. Potentially a bit too close for comfort. Could have honestly gone either way. Does go slightly in the favor of HellRaisers. They managed to secure the bomb, plant, and explosion. Tying it up at 3. Winstrike with a force buy once again. They've already won 1 force buy thus far. This time around, they got 3 SMGs, a Desert Eagle, and obviously Alien holding on to that AWP and putting it to good use. Nice shot on Nokia. Fairly important kill as well. We know how dangerous Nokia can be. One player up close. 2 players actually up close towards T connector. They've pushed forward slightly. Obviously, a very smart move here from Winstrike. They know that they're on SMGs, so they have to go for something a bit untraditional. That's why we see 2 players pushing up this far in towards T connector. HellRaisers, they're aware about the potential. Decides to go for the shift walk up towards Whitehalls and eventually down towards the B bomb site. You have Chrisen on that Desert Eagle in towards that B bomb site, and on the back side of it, it's Alien with that AWP. They're patiently waiting for the aggression to come their way. Alien posted up. Smoke goes out in time. He got a good angle for the high ground. Finds the frag, and Chrisen in towards the bomb site. He's in a good spot of his own. That's a nice shot. Quickly taken down. Bomb will get planted. But it's a 2-on-4 situation, and again, as I said, it's a force buy here for Winstrike, and they're putting their weapons to brilliant use. It does look like they will be able to pick up the round as well, as Ivan, realizing the best decision for him to take is probably just holding on to the AWP, and that's what he'll do. Great force buy victory once again for Winstrike. HellRaisers find themselves in a bit of a deficit. Not a massive one. We gotta keep in mind that the money is pretty tight here for HellRaisers as well. So they won't be able to buy up completely for this round, as you can see. It's pretty much an eco, actually. Obviously holding on to that AWP from the previous. And they do have a couple of Desert Eagles, but other than that, they haven't really invested into anything. Ivan almost catching Hobbit. His leg shutting him slightly. Nokia. Good positioning from Nokia. Trying for the spray and pray with the Desert Eagle. Doesn't quite catch it. Ivan trying for the wall bangs. He's not going to catch it either. Bit of a switch over towards the B bomb site. Making sure that the low HP players on the SMG rather than the AK-47. HellRaisers once again spreading out a bit, but it seems like they might be making a move back towards the A bomb site. At the very least, they are slowly making moves in towards T connector. You have a couple of players in T connector already. Well, 1 player close to T connector. The rest of them are right above. Very slow pace here from HellRaisers. Taking their time, making a lot of noise in towards T connector though. And it's going to be Lackey and Alien to shut them down as they push forward. Chrisen watching down towards the B bomb site. Spraying, praying, and eventually tapping away. Connects on the final couple of frags. And that's going to be 5-3. Winstrike extending their lead even further. That was a bit of a min buy, a bit of a pretty much just an eco actually here for HellRaisers. We can see even though they had the eco in the previous round, they still don't have that great of a bank behind them. They still don't have that much money to work with. Obviously, they can go for the AK-47s or even SG-553s on 4 of the 5 players. Ilian could go for a Galil, or he could go for an AK with soft armor, also known as Kevlar. So they do have potential of a decent buy in this round, but they are going to be lacking utility if they go for it. They do decide to go for the AKs and the Galil. Do have a decent amount of utility behind them. Obviously lacking a bit, as you can see. A lot of damage dealt towards Nukia and Flaric very early into the round. Crushy gets spotted out. Not a good start to the round here for HellRaisers. Real good potential here for Winstrike to take pretty much full control of this first half. And I know it's fairly early to say, because we only just got through the halfway mark of this first half. So we gotta keep in mind that Winstrike already leading by 2. They've already managed to build up somewhat of an economy on some of the players at the very least. And it's a 5-on-3 situation with barely any damage dealt towards the Winstrike side of it. As I said, real good opportunity here for Winstrike to gain some ground and gain some economy. And HellRaisers, they need a magical clutch here. Bondic tries to help Lackey, but Lackey does it all on his own, and Flaric, he's now going to be the last man standing. He was the first to take damage for the round. Went down to 17 very early into it. And now he is the last man standing, falling all the way back to try and hold on to the AK-47 and the tiny amount of utility that he's got in his pockets. But yes, indeed, it will be another round on the board here for Winstrike. That's going to make it 6-3. And again, HellRaisers, bit of a worrisome situation. Once again, they don't really have any economy to work with. They don't really have enough to justify a force buy here. And they need to worry about getting rounds on the board. But furthermore, Flaric, as he held on to the AK-47 from the previous round, that obviously means that he doesn't have any money at all in his bank. Should be fairly easy pickings here for Winstrike once again. Giving them a good opportunity to get their 7th. Flaric missing his flashbang. That's a bit funny to see. Very low effort on that flashbang anyway. Nice peek coming through from Hobbit. Again, as I said, it is an eco here for HellRaisers. Again, should be fairly easy for Winstrike to pick up this round, and they want to make sure that no more than 2 of their players die in this round. If they do lose more than 2 players, then it would quote-unquote be a 1 round for HellRaisers in terms of economical damage dealt. We gotta keep in mind that, again, the economy is pretty decent here for Winstrike, so obviously, even if this round goes completely in the favor of HellRaisers, which it doesn't, Winstrike still has a lot of money in the bank. And there you have it. Hobbit with the final couple of frags. And Winstrike picks up their 7th. Real quick, before we get too far into the nitty-gritty, I want to remind you guys that we have a lot of Counterstrike going on throughout this weekend. We actually started Did we start already? I think Louis in the chat can probably help with this. Did we start already Tuesday, or was it yesterday that we started? Either way, we have a lot of close qualifiers going on right now. We gotta continue with the CIS qualifier tomorrow. And Saturday and Sunday, we're gonna be joining up for the European. But let's get back to the action here. Again, it's Winstrike shutting down the aggression. Complete shutdown on the A-bomb site. I think someone sneezed twice when they woke up. And Winstrike decided to put this A-bomb site into quarantine. One thing I can promise you guys is that if nothing else, I'll always come up with cringe-worthy analogies. Analogies? That word. Alien should have probably hit that. Ivan does initially make his way over towards Pop, but decides to go for the repeat, and that's going to cost him his life. Christen shots him down. 2 players surviving for Winstrike. Another buy round gone here for HellRaisers. And Winstrike, they're just rolling in it right now. Winstrike in full control of this one, and it makes pretty good sense. This map was chosen by Winstrike. So again, it makes pretty good sense that they know what they're doing, at least on the CT side. Now, it is a bit too early to say that this is going to be incredibly one-sided, because we got to keep in mind that it is, on paper, a quote-unquote CT map. Which means that it can be incredibly tough to get rounds on the T side. We haven't hit halftime yet. One of the beautiful things about Counterstrike is that anything can happen in a game of Counterstrike. You never really know how it's going to pan out until the final couple of rounds have been played. But right now it looks incredibly one-sided in the favor of Winstrike. Not only the amount of rounds that they've gotten on the board, it's also the amount of money that they've already managed to build up. And that just keeps stacking and stacking and stacking. Christen, he's sitting on almost 13,000 after rebuying his utility into this round. 12,000 on Ilian, 7 on Hobbit, 5.5 on Lackey, and just above 7 on Bondic. So much money already here. Well, already we're heading towards the end of this first half, so at this point, Winstrike shouldn't have to worry about buying up, or shouldn't have to worry about like lacking money for the rest of this this first half, I don't think. Some around HellRaisers. At least by the looks of it, it seems like they want to go for a split towards the A-bomb site. Got a couple of players down towards Ivy, a couple of players just waiting for the move. They're sitting close towards T connector. What's quite interesting here is that Winstrike, they're fully gambling on a B hit. They got 3 players towards the B bomb site, and actually no players directly on the A bomb site. So they're going to be playing for a bit of a retake scenario. Ilian does rotate back in towards the A bomb site with that AWP, but look at this Hobbit. He almost catches the triple as well. Brilliant spray down from Hobbit. Good timing on that peek through the smoke. And that turns it once again back in favor of Winstrike. Hobbit taking it upon himself to make sure that this round doesn't fall in the favor of the opponents. Like it with a bit of a missed flashbang here. Okay, it's gonna capitalize on that. Managed to shut him down. Bondek, good timing on the peak. Unfortunately, he gets taken down immediately after from Fleric. Fleric with a nice double. It's gonna be all on Ilian for the retake. A 1-on-2 situation. Ilian does have the AWP. That gives him potential. One-shot potential. That's not gonna happen. Getting caught as he's trying to get a vantage point on top of one of the trains, and eventually does get taken down. HellRaisers finally connecting another round on the board. That's gonna be their 4th. But as I said, so much money already built up here for Winstrike that buying up is not gonna be an issue. Furthermore, I feel like HellRaisers to be content with this first half. They need at least one more round. They would love the final couple of rounds going in their favor, of course. If they can get a 9-6 half, it would actually be a decent half for HellRaisers, all things considered. Obviously, Winstrike gonna do their absolute greatest to make sure that does not happen. Double up setup to try and hold off the aggression this time around. I'm not completely mistaken. I believe that is the first time we've seen the double up setup here on the CT side thus far. I do believe that we're gonna see it a couple of times when HellRaisers get over on the CT side. Obviously, if they manage to build up the economy for it. It is a bit of a gamble is what I'm trying to say. Going for that double up setup. It's a lot of money to be investing into a round, so you need to be pretty comfortable on those AWPs. I like the setup here on those ops though. It's a nice peek coming through from Ilian as he connects on Ivan. He falls back to relative safety. Molly. Wait, I just heard the sound cue, but no damage was dealt. That's quite interesting. Normally the first tick is like barely any damage, but still some. Oh, Prison. Oh, Fleric. He had to go for that wallbang. He does manage to get it just in time to make sure that he gets the bomb down. Bondek going for the peak. Beautiful teamwork here with the flashbang up high as Bondek. He fires a couple of shots in towards the wall to bait out his opponents. Very well played on the 2-on-1 retake here. And Chrisen obviously shouldn't have gotten that many kills from his position over towards Spools. He should have been one and done. And Chrisen holding down the B bomb site pretty well. Winstrike finding double digits. 10-4. And now the big question is it going to be a 10-5 halftime? Will Winstrike pick up the final round for the half as well? Another bit of an interesting fact. I'm sure like a lot of you guys in the chat noticed, but to those of you who didn't, Winstrike, the two remaining players, they had an AWP on one of them. The other one had an M4, if I recall correctly. And both of them actually switching over to AK-47s. And you might be wondering, why would you do that? The AWP is worth a lot more. The reason is you cannot buy the AK on the CT side, and it's a one-shot potential, so it's better than the M4, of course. And they had enough money to repurchase the AWP. It's one of those micro plays that by first look doesn't look like a whole lot, but actually could mean quite a bit. Beautiful stuff here from Winstrike once again. Bonding, that's a nice shot onto Crushing Angel. Last man standing needs an absolute miracle to get this one going. 1-on-4 situation. He spots the shadow. He knows there's a player close by. Good reaction to the flashbang here. Does find the frag, but now his position is known. Now he's forced to try and change it up. He goes for a bit of a sound cue, acting like he's falling back. Actually deals a bit of damage here on Alien. Not enough to take him down. Almost catching him the second time around, but the flashbang saving Alien slightly. Alien finding a different angle down towards Connector. Alien does manage to secure the final frag. There you have it. It is going to be 11-4 in the favor of Winstrike. Winstrike taking a good strong lead here for the first half, going into the second. And now the big question is, what can HellRaisers do about this one? Obviously, they're now going to be on the CT side, which is, as I mentioned earlier, the favorite side here on Train. So that does definitely give them potential of getting something done. At this point in time, we are just sitting on a halftime break for just a few moments. And while we're sitting on this halftime break, quickly want to remind you guys to hit that follow button on Twitch. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Furthermore, head over to Twitter and follow ESLCS for all your updates on ESL events. Do have a lot of ESL events going throughout the year, obviously. We actually right now have ESL Meisterschaft as well, which is the German championship is what I'm trying to say. That is going to be starting in just a few hours. Let's start the 2020 season of that this Tuesday. And as mentioned, we started these closed qualifiers Tuesday as well. Today, we've started with the closed qualifier for the CIS region. Gonna continue that on tomorrow. And then Saturday and Sunday, we're gonna head over to Europe. Get ready for the European closed qualifier. And if you think there are, like, well, obviously, that was about to sound pretty bad, honestly, but no disrespect meant by it. But if you think there are good players in this one, wait till you see the European closed qualifier. The European closed qualifier is stacked as ever. I'm certainly looking forward to that, but first, we need to find those Not entirely sure what that hiccup was all about. That's interesting. It seems like we're back though. Hopefully. I'm not entirely sure if I'm just like staring into a screen and yelling into the void. That's pretty much all I do though. Alright, let's see how this one goes. It's Hobbit who catches the first, but Angel over by Spools. He connects onto Hobbit, gets the trade, shuts him down. Chrisen takes care of Angel. 3-on-4 situation here. Crushy. Good kill onto Bondic. Bomb has got planted. Crushy. Nice little 180 there to catch Lackey. Chrisen does take care of Nukia. Back to the 2-on-2. Flaric. Headshots on Ilian. Bomb. About to get defused, but not quite yet. Crushy deals with the final player. Gonna get directly on the bomb. And now, it doesn't matter if they find a kit. And it doesn't matter either way, because they will get the defuse. HellRaisers do manage to pick up the pistol here on the CT side. Very important pistol for them, considering it was 11-4. Yeah, there you have it. HellRaisers back in the game. Well, I guess that's definitely too early to say. They're still in the 6-round deficit, so still a long, tough uphill struggle ahead of them. But this is a pretty good start to it. Picking up the pistol does potentially give them a decent opportunity to bring this one back. But as I said, they've still got ways to go. Decent buy here from Chrisen, but only from Chrisen. Going for that AK-47, that's quite interesting. Chrisen force buying the AK-47 is something we see every once in a while with the Hero AK. I'm not entirely sure. I've always actually said that I'm not a fan of it. I think it's a little bit weird. I'm not a massive fan of even just going for the Hero Desert Eagle if you're on an eco round. If you only got one player going for the for any weapon, whether it's an upgrade pistol or whatever it might be, I'm personally not like a massive fan of it. But it seems to be working out alright here for Chrisen. Nice double kill. You gotta keep in mind though, a lot of damage dealt towards the Winstrike. Line up Nukia, Flaric catching one each. Angel pushing in closer towards the bomb site, taking care of the AK-47. Now trying to find a different angle, connects onto Chrisen as well. Finds the third and final frag for the round. HellRaisers do manage to hold on to the round, but that was definitely way too close for comfort. HellRaisers do manage to hold on to it. Still in a 5-round deficit. Winstrike. Most of the players going for an eco in the previous means that they'll have enough money to buy up completely for this one. And even though Chrisen went for that Hero AK-47, he actually still has enough money to go for the Galil as well. So a pretty solid buy here for Winstrike, and this could potentially hurt HellRaisers, considering that we got a couple of SMGs and a single FAMAS on Crushy. Not the greatest amount of utility here for HellRaisers either. Obviously, they've already used some, but they are definitely lacking a bit here and there. The frag from Lackey does take a good chunk of damage in the process. Lackey down to just below 20. Still very much alive though, and especially with an AK-47, it does have that one-shot potential. That's a nice peek coming through from Hobbit. The timing favors him massively as his opponent looked away at the wrong time. Ivan, I think he was debating with himself whether he wanted to go for the sneaky knife frag. That wasn't gonna happen. Liam does eventually shut him down. Chrisen, in the meantime, he connects on Nukia. It's gonna be all on Angel. He saved them the last time around, but not this time. As he gets one, then he's quickly taken out. He's one and done. And Winstrike back in the lead. extending the leads. Back to 6-round lead for Winstrike. Hey, they are on a winning streak in terms of rounds right now, so I guess my brain just thought ahead of what my... I guess my mouth, like... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Good position here from Nokia. Oh, can deal a lot of damage with the 5-7 and does find a nice double headshot. I don't think that smoke was actually meant to go down right there from Angel. I think it was supposed to land on top of it. That molly definitely wasn't supposed to go inside of the wall. Merrick, 5-7 of his own. Lackey does take him down, but quickly traded out by Angel. It's now going to be Angel against Hobbit in a one-on-one situation. Angel has taken a good chunk of damage. Nate Toss goes a bit too far, but the headshot connects. Angel gets taken down. That's 13th round now for Winstrike. Just 3 rounds away from potentially shutting this one down fairly securely here on the first map in this best-of-3 series. We gotta keep in mind, though, this map once again was chosen by Winstrike. It is the first out of potential 3. Second map coming up after this one is going to be Overpass, chosen by HellRaisers. And according to the statistics, Terrain is not a map that HellRaisers plays too much, or at least not a map they've played that much in the last 3 months, only once. Overpass is a map that they enjoy playing, though, with 8 times played. It is their most played map in the last 3 months other than Mirage. They have a 75% win rate on it. Bit of an eco here for HellRaisers, not a whole lot they can do. Nokia did find a frag very early into the round, and Ivan here connects onto Lackey. Nice double tap headshot on the USP. Picks up the SMG. Gonna try and see if he can find a little bit more. In a 1-on-3 situation, not a whole lot he can get done for this one. Does get spotted out. Bondic a bit slow on his reaction, but eventually he does get the job done. Connects for a quad kill for the round. That puts Winstrike on 14. Now just 2 rounds away, and that also means that if HellRaisers want to win this one in regulation... It's a saying I use so much. And the other day I realized how stupid it is, because of course they want... Of course they want to win it in regulation. But for them to win in regulation, they need 10 rounds in a row. And by how this game has gone thus far, that seems incredibly unlikely. I don't think we're going to see that happening. I do believe that Winstrike is going to be shutting this one down in a matter of a few rounds. Don't quote me on that, though. Please don't clip it. I've been wrong before. Good frack through from Ivan. Connects on to Chrisen. Shuts him down. Brings it back to equal grounds now. 4-on-4 situation. Still a good amount of money, or excuse me, a good amount of utility in the hands of Winstrike. Also a decent amount of money on some of the players at the very least. Lackey, that's a very important kill onto Nokia. Does take a good chunk of damage in the process. Down to just 14. Alien posted up in a good position of his own. Crushy takes care of Lackey. Knows there's another player with an AWP over towards that position. Brings it back. Oh, a Hobbit. Needs to praise himself lucky that he didn't get taken down there. Simon was watching the wrong angle, but Crushy, he peeks out at the right time, connects onto Hobbit, brings it back to the 2-on-2. They need to be careful about the flank here. We got Ilian on the flank with that AWP, but the bomb is not planted for him. Bondic, even on X-Ray, that looked absolutely insane. Bondic, the final couple of frags for the round. Even on X-Ray, that looked absolutely magical. The sick elevated flick upwards to catch the player on top. I like it. Bondic securing the 15th. That means that Winstrike now on map point on their own map pick. And HellRaisers, only thing they can hope for at this point in time is to drag it into OT. But for that to happen, they need 9 rounds in a row. And if it was tough before, I think this is even tougher considering the buy that they're on currently. Bondit, a good frag, quickly traded out by Crushy, but Hobbit, he takes care of him. Back to a 4-on-3, favoring Winstrike once again, and Hobbit once more changing up his position, going for the aggression down towards CT, finds yet another on Flaric. Nukia does trade him out. Lackey taking care of Angel is now going to be all on Nukia. Very low on HP, down to just 20 with an SMG and a Dream. He's situated over towards the B bomb site, trying to go for the long rotation back towards Pop Dog. And again, not a whole lot he can do for this one. He could potentially find a flank here on Alien, but even with that, and that's not even gonna happen. There you have it. Winstrike does manage to secure the victory in very strong fashion. 16-6 on map 1. Train going in their favor. We are gonna head to a short break. When we return, it will be map 2. Overpass coming up next. Don't go too far.